Welcome to the party, pal. Your for the neighborhood Master Chaos back with you once again with another box set review. And boy, do I have a doozy of a dilly for you today. This is something I've been waiting for quite a while. Well, honestly, since it was first announced, I was thrilled at the possibilities inherent within a homegrown horrors box set. I was familiar with Beyond Dream's Door. I'd never seen Fatal Exam, and I was very familiar with Winter Beast as well. So I was excited for this box set because 2 out of the 3 movies I was already a big fan of. Now, I would like to unbox this for you, but I think we all know what the box design looks like. I'm going to spare you that whole, oh, look at this side, look at that side kind of thing. It's all about the meat, right?
Hey, where's the meat?
Well, here is the beef. You get 3 emery cases inside. By the way, they're tightly packed in there, which is nice. No rattling around or anything. Arrow, Beyond Dream's Door, Fatal Exam, and Winter Beast. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to review and rank them as I go. So I'm going to start with my least favorite in the box and then end with my favorite. So here we go. Ready. Let's go. Shuffle. Get the order that works the best. And number 3 is Fatal Exam here. This was pitched as a slasher. It's not really a slasher. It's not really a movie you can easily define. Now this, I think, universally from other reviews I've heard on the Blu-ray forums and things like that, this is universally the worst in the bunch. It's my least favorite, but I wouldn't say it's the worst in the bunch. Now, keep in mind, my first movie was a homegrown horrors type movie. Technically, my first 2 movies were. So I have a soft spot for these types of movies. I have a soft spot for the can-do attitude, the let's, do what we can with what we can. That kind of filmmaking energy, to me, is the real filmmaking. Sure, Hollywood cranks out movies all the time, but they've got millions and millions of dollars. They've got thousands of people working behind the cameras, behind the scenes. These types of movies are made by filmmakers who really love movies, who in their bones can only think about doing one thing, making a movie. Whether it makes money or not, I just want to fucking make a movie. I respect that greatly. So I have a soft spot for these types of movies. So while Fatal Exam is my number 3, it's not in my opinion, it's not a bad movie. I will say this, it's a long movie. It's almost 2 hours. I think, to be exact, it's like an hour and 54 minutes. That's long. That's a long movie. And it's really slow. The first hour is pretty slow. But if you look at it from a different perspective, and if you haven't seen it yet, maybe I can shift your perspective. By the way, no spoilers, so you can go into the movies blind, because I want you to have that experience. If you see this as a Ghost Adventures movie, like a Ghost Hunters TV show type of thing, you're going to have a good time. Because the plot is, some kids are allowed to go into this haunted house to investigate it, to see if there's anything to the legend of whatever murders that took place there a long time ago, and maybe they can get proof of the paranormal. They're taking a paranormal class. And so the first hour is these college kids walking around an old house. And I can understand how that's boring, but to me, somebody who's used to watching Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters shows, I found that, par for the course. That's what they do. I was okay with it. I wasn't really bored by it, but I can see how somebody not really used to that type of show or not used to this type of content could be really, really lulled to sleep by the first hour of this movie. The second half of the movie, however, does pick up and provides some gory kills and an interesting twist that you will not see coming. I'm not going to spoil it here. I think it's a fun surprise to discover as you watch the movie. It's definitely something to look forward to if you're feeling like the first half is a slog, which it can be. I can understand that. But I was charmed by the movie. I really liked, in a weird way, I really liked the pace, but then I'm kind of used to those Ghost Adventure type shows, people just kind of walking around the house looking for shit to happen. I'm kind of used to that stuff. So if you watch it from that perspective, it's an interesting proto Ghost Adventures movie. It's almost like the scenes in Poltergeist with the Ghost Hunters. It's kind of like that, but extended for 2 hours. But of course with like a not even a tenth, a thousandth of the budget, maybe a millionth of the budget. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I would probably rewatch this movie. It would, out of the three, this is the one I would rewatch the least. But I would definitely revisit Fatal Exam. I really enjoyed it. A boat of special features here. Almost too many special features. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of the back, and you can go through it at your leisure. Feel free to pause and read it in depth. There's so much here. There's so much here for all of these movies. That's number one. What I had to say about this box set is they really blew it out when it comes to special features. They really blew it out. They knew what we wanted when it comes to these movies, and they delivered. And I hope that continues. I really hope that continues. It might be difficult, but with Volume 2, I hope we get as many special features as we get with these releases. Okay, Fatal Exam is number 3. Number 2, and not because it's a lesser movie. Honestly, this and Winter Beast are kind of tied for number 1, but something had to be number 2. I'm going to go with Beyond Dream's Door. This is Jay Wolfel's film, his first film, and it is a doozy. This is a movie that goes above and beyond. Now, you can make a low-budget movie. Sure, I've made low-budget movies, and, there comes a time when you're making the movie where you say, we don't have the money for that. What do? Well, we just either don't shoot it, or we shoot what we can, and we make it look the best we can, and we try to do something unique. That's always the best option, but that's always the hard option. You don't have time, your cast doesn't show up, your crew doesn't show up, the equipment breaks. There's so many issues inherent to making a low-budget movie that it is a wonder that any of them, honestly, get made, much less released. Beyond Dream's Door is a testament to what can happen when you try your very goddamn hardest to make a unique motion picture. Beyond Dream's Door, there's nothing like this movie. I mean, I technically, it was shot before Nightmare on Elm Street, and according to the behind-the-scenes stuff, it came after Nightmare on Elm Street, release-wise, just because of, the issues of making a low-budget movie and, distribution and all that stuff. It's similar in tone, I guess, to Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's very different. This is a very tricky movie to describe without giving anything away. And I'll be honest, I've seen this movie 3 times. Well, I guess maybe 4 with the audio commentaries. I discovered it long time ago in a video store far away, and it stuck with me. And then when they announced Beyond Dream's Door was going to be released, I was able to connect with Jay Wolfel. We did a lovely interview on Hollyweird. He's a marvelous man, and we had a wonderful chat about the making of the movie and working with Vinegar Syndrome. If you haven't seen it, feel free to check it out. It's really great. He goes into details that aren't even covered in the special features, which is cool. And when it was released, I'm like, damn, I can't wait to revisit this one. It's been such a long time. I've only seen it once, back in the day. But it stuck with me. There was something about the movie that was very unique. There was something very different about it. Now, at the time, I was, of course, a burgeoning filmmaker and film fan, and I wanted to make movies. So I watched movies, not just to watch them, but to study them. And this is a movie that I think, film fans could really learn a lot from. Filmmakers, burgeoning filmmakers, could learn quite a bit from. It is not only jam-packed with plot, but you can tell every angle, every moment, every decision, every camera move was made by somebody who wanted to deliver a competent and exciting and unique motion picture experience. That's not something I say a lot about some of these movies, Full Moon, where they just kind of leave the camera stagnant. You get a static camera, and the characters just walk around like we're watching some goddamn stage play. For those filmmakers out there that do that, you're not Ozu. Ozu can do that, and sometimes he can't even pull that off. Move your goddamn camera. And Beyond Dream's Door does that. Boy, does it ever. But one thing that's really hard to do, especially when making, shooting film specifically, is moving camera, because you have to rack focus, and that takes skill, and that takes precision. And that's hard. You have to. That's the one thing most people don't realize about shooting film. Video can figure itself out sometimes, but film, you've got to keep stuff in focus. There was no, from what I can tell, there were no soft shots in this college-made movie. And I've seen soft shots in bigger, more expensive movies. Insane to me. the precision, the skill, the moving camera, the technical know-how, all because they wanted to make a movie. Now, this was shot by Jay and his crew. They were all Ohio State University students at the time. This was a college-made movie. After I'm done praising the filmmaking, I think you get how impressed I am. What you have here is the story of Ben Dobbs. He's been suppressing his dreams since the age of 9 after his parents died, and recently his dreams have come back with a vengeance. Somehow his dream energy has manifested into some kind of creature that is infecting reality. And dreams and reality are blending together, bleeding together. It's kind of one of those movies where you don't know what reality is, and what's real, what's fake, what's a dream. And I can see how some viewers could find that a little exhausting. And I'll be honest, it does sort of wear on the viewer a little bit, because you start losing track. You start losing the thread of the story a little bit. Like, wait, what's going on now? Why are we doing this? There is a lot, and this is the kind of movie you need to unpack with multiple viewings. Your first viewing of this movie might be kind of like, oh, wow, that was visually really interesting, but I honestly did not really get what was happening. That was my case. It took me 2 viewings, 3 viewings to, I think, get an understanding of it. And even my understanding may be wrong. I'll have to pick Jay's brain down the line and say, hey, is this kind of what was going on? I just wanted to double check. But go in knowing that this movie, it's 80 minutes, I believe. Yeah, it's 80 minutes. It used to be 86, but they removed a short film that was a part of it that the distributors had asked Jay to add. So that's been removed. An 80-minute taut, non-stop action. This is not a boring movie. That's the one thing you could say as opposed to Fatal Exam. There's no sluggish moments. This thing hits the ground running. There's nudity. There's blood and guts. There's some really great gore gags. Really great gore gags, for the budget. Jeez. That's some great creepy-ass stuff in here. And the monster looks good when you get to see it. I mean, it's mostly a hand puppet and like a creepy arm, like that flexes its fingers. It looks great, though. It looks great. And it's enough. It gives you enough to give you the idea of what you're getting. Overall, it's a very satisfying movie, but go in knowing that this little 80-minute movie is something you might need to rewatch to fully embrace the plot and understand what's going on, because it's going by so fast. There's so many little elements. There's teeth. There's missing pages of a book. There's a lot of little elements that at first I'm like, wait, what was the thing with the book pages? But subsequent viewings, it becomes a lot clearer. And I like a movie like that. I like a movie that unfolds like a flower. The first time you see, oh, it's nice, it's pretty. Second time you see, like, oh, wow, okay, good. I didn't see all that hidden subtext. That's fantastic. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of happy accidents here. There's a lot of special features here on this as well. What I'm going to do, again, is to take a picture, and you can feel free to pause. There's like 4 commentary tracks. I'll be honest, 2 of the commentary tracks are kind of the same thing. It's Jay with his cinematographer and 2 of his cast members reminiscing, and it's there's an older version and a newer version. They're kind of the same thing. I would say listen probably to the newer version, and then there's one with actor Nick Baldassare who plays Ben, and then I believe there's another one with just Jay on it. So you get a lot of commentary tracks. You get an epic 40-minute documentary about the making of the film, which is fantastic. Really a wonderful watch. Then you get a lot of archival stuff, which is fantastic behind the scenes stuff. An original making of a documentary, some bloopers, some deleted scenes. This is jam-packed. This is the definitive edition of Beyond Dreams Dorm, and I highly recommend you watch this movie. Obviously, if you have the set, you're going to watch the movie. But gosh, what a treat. What a wonderful movie. And what a perfect example of what can be achieved by filmmakers, by film fans, if you just give a shit.
Last time I gave a shit, I got fucked. Oh, shit! Oh!
Last, but certainly not least, coming in number 1 is Winter Beast. Winter Beast. Winter Beast. What is Winter Beast? What isn't Winter Beast is the best way to describe it. This is so much. This is so much. I'm at a loss for words.
No words. No words to describe. Punish me. I should have said the poem.
Winter Beast is one of those perfect productions. And by perfect, sliding scale again, perfect in the homegrown sense. The dialogue is bizarre, the acting is bizarre, the sets are fake, the monsters are ridiculous. Some of them are stop motion and claymation. And it doesn't 100% make sense. But somehow all of it comes together. In this beautiful stew, you get like a little pot. And you put all this crazy shit in there. You stir it around, put a little chicken broth. Why not? Because you gotta have some liquid. Mix it around. Wow. How delicious. Winter Beast is, in my opinion, a masterpiece. A masterpiece in the homegrown sense. What you have here is the story of a park ranger and his deputy that are going around trying to figure out why campers are disappearing in the woods. Turns out there's a winter beast on the loose, which technically you don't really see him till the end of the movie, but I guess he's got friends, and somehow the gates of hell have opened. It's very unclear, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. The gates of hell have opened, winter beast is on the loose, and he's bringing all his other friends. And he's got an alien, he's got like a Bigfooty type of creature, a whole bunch of monsters. A whole bunch of monsters. They're all on the loose, they're all eating people, and it is fantastic. Every moment of this movie is a gift. It is a gift. That's the best way to put it. And I'll tell you why. Any scene from this movie, there's something off about it. Maybe it's the dialogue, maybe it's the way it's delivered, maybe it's the angle of the camera. But there's always something unique about it. And it's entrancing. It hooks you. You're like, God damn, what is it about this movie? This movie is a mystery. And I'm not going to go as far as say it's David Lynchian, but it feels like that David Lynchian Lost Highway type of thing. Oh, what's this mysterious tape I found on my driveway? What the fuck is this? That kind of feel. Like you're watching it like, people made this? This is so great. And it's not like The Room or Birdemic, like, I can't believe somebody made this. What's wrong with them? It's more like, I can't believe somebody made this and I want to shake their hand kind of a feeling. There's nothing like Winter Beast. That's why it's number one. It's very different from the other movies. And just like Beyond Dream's Door, it tries very hard. This movie was 5 years in the making. 5 years in the making. That's a lot of years to make a movie. Especially something like this. If you watch Winter Beast, you're like, God damn, that took 5 fucking years to make this movie? Well, it did. And you know why? Because they cared and they loved it. And they wanted to keep improving it, making it better. Of course, all the additions were like the claymation and the stop motion. One of the producers was a stop motion animator, so that's where that came from. What a treat! What a beautiful treat to film fans everywhere and filmmakers. You can learn a lot from these types of movies, like I said. And Winter Beast is no less of an example than Beyond Dream's Door. Winter Beast is such a treat. Such a beautiful... Gosh, I'm gushing about this movie, but people who go in cynically will probably see that, well, this is a piece of shit. This is a super piece of shit movie. Yes, this is kind of a shitty movie. It is a shitty movie. I get it. It's not a perfect movie, but it's all the elements, like I said, coming together that produce something so utterly unique and special that it just deserves to be celebrated. It honestly does. And when this became a big part of the box set, I was so thrilled. I saw this in theaters years and years ago here in Los Angeles, and I was able to meet, I think it was the cast and crew or somebody, because I've got a signed poster in my office back here. And I was like, God, I want to rewatch this movie so bad, but it was so hard to find. You couldn't get it, it wasn't on Blu-ray at the time. I think there was a DVD, but it was out of print. It's like, fuck, man, I gotta rewatch Winter Beast. It's always been on my mind. And here it is with me. And I'm so happy to have it. It is definitely something I'm going to show people. This, out of my entire Vinegar Syndrome collection, my entire collection of every title I have a lot. This, if somebody said, hey, show me a Vinegar Syndrome movie. Special features, again, are through the roof. Amazing. I'm going to take a picture of the back. Feel free to pause. So much stuff. Audio commentaries. A 47-minute documentary on the making of the movie. Archival stuff as well. And this is So great. Oh my God. So much amazing stuff in this. Interview with all the actors. Well, I guess all the actors they can get in touch with. Oh, it is a gift. It is a gift. And we should thank Vinegar Syndrome for putting the effort into restoring and releasing this beautiful, beautiful disaster piece of a movie. And it's so good. So good.
Oh, God, it's so good. So good.
Honestly, my dude, we should thank Vinegar Syndrome for all of these movies being restored and released. Fatal Exam is a new one to me, but honestly, if I'd seen it back in the day, I would have had fond memories of it, just like, I do for Beyond Dream's Door and Winter Beast. I am very thrilled with this box set. I'm calling it now. This is my favorite box set of the year. I'm calling it now. There's rumors that there's going to be a Kurosawa box set from Criterion. That might change my mind, but for now, this is my favorite box set. What a gift. What a gift to filmmakers, to film fans, to film lovers, and what a gift to the filmmakers of these movies as well. I know from experience how crushing it is to have your movie come out and nobody see it, nobody hear about it, nobody talk about it, nobody review it, and have it vanish after putting all that hard work and effort and blood and sweat and tears and time into something you care about, and have it vanish. But thanks to Vinegar Syndrome, these 3 seemingly lost movies have now been renewed and restored. And my friend, it gets my highest recommendation. This is the best box set of the year. I love it. I love it, and I'll be revisiting this more than anything. Giallo box set. Most likely the Rene Cardona box set. I'm probably going to be revisiting Homegrown Horrors a little bit more than that, or the TV Terrors. That sounds interesting, but Homegrown is where it's at for me. Okay, my friend, let's call it a day. I hope you're having a wonderful day, by the way. Wow, look at that. I'm like a poet. Okay, pal, I love you very much. As a matter of fact, I love you just the way you are. Remember that. You mean the world to me. You really, really do. I appreciate you sharing your time with me. I know your time is valuable, so I hope you've had a good time, spending that precious time with me. My friend, I'll see you when I see you. I'll be here. I hope you'll come back and hang out with me, because your friendly neighborhood Master of Chaos remains to be continued.